Hey guys, before I begin this video, I want to thank you so much for 12,000 subscribers. In the last month and a half, I've gained another 2,000 subscribers to the channel. I do want to say though that still 95% of you guys aren't subscribed, so if you do enjoy this content and this type of video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Over 3 years ago, I created my very first countdown video on the channel called The First Player to Each 99 in Old School Runescape. That video did extremely well, hitting over 70,000 views and a 90% like ratio, which was crazy good considering I had less than 1,000 subscribers at the time of its release. Over the years, I've gotten plenty of requests to make a First Player to Each 200 mil in Old School Runescape, so here it is. I will be presenting these 200 mils in chronological order from the first one achieved. If you do want to pause the video now and take guesses in the comments section the order that these were achieved, go for it. Remember, there are 23 skills in Old School, and use your skills tab in game to make sure you don't forget any. Anyways, fasten your seatbelts and enjoy. The first skill to 200 mil in Old School Runescape was cooking on April 16, 2013 by Suck It Losers. On his way to 200 mil, Suck It Losers was also the very first player to achieve 50, 100, and 150 mil experience milestones. One interesting fact about Suck It Losers is during a bot busting event nearly 2 weeks after getting 200 mil cooking, a Jagex mod accidentally misclicked his name and banned him. Although the ban only lasted a couple of minutes, I can only imagine his reaction IRL when he was banned. The second skill to 200 mil in Old School Runescape was fletching on June 26, 2013 by EETSK, aka I'm Your Daddy. He did mostly magic longbows and made quite a bit of profit on his journey to 200 mil. This guy's name more than likely comes from the NPC named Hickton in the bank in Central Catherby, who awards players the fletching cape. The third skill to 200 mil in Old School Runescape was Thieving on July 7, 2013 by Old PKER. His method from level 55 Thieving all the way to 200 mil was pickpocketing Arty Knights. This amounts to over 2.3 million pickpockets and yielded him over 118 million GP. During this time, the Rogue's outfit was not released, so he couldn't get double the GP per pickpocket. An interesting fact about Old PKER is that apparently in 2015, about a year and a half after he achieved 200 mil, he got hacked and his name got changed to Old PB. It looks like as of today he was able to recover his account and get his name back, but I'm not entirely sure if he still plays. The fourth skill to 200 mil in Old School Runescape was fire making on December 21st, 2013 by Destiny. Destiny accomplished this method by burning maple logs. From level 45 to 200 mil experience, he burned over 1.4 million maple logs. Destiny also achieved 200 mil fire making in RuneScape 2. I'm curious how this guy feels about Wintertot. It certainly devalued his 200 mil quite a bit, but drastically improved the skill and gave nice rewards to go along with it. The fifth skill to 200 mil in Old School Runescape was fishing on January 10, 2014 by Homepage. Homepage lost the 99 race by a little bit over 100,000 total XP, so it must have felt good to secure rank 1 to 200 mil. I can remember in 2013 when I used to stream on Twitch, Homepage would watch my streams often. I guess looking back at it, he probably was AFK fishing, since I don't think tick manipulation methods were known back then. Homepage is also the only person to be the first to a second 200 mil in Old School Runescape, which we will get to later. The sixth skill to 200 mil was Attack on March 13, 2014 by HEUR. Although not much information is available on this accomplishment, I reckon that a good percentage of his experience was accomplished through Nightmare Zone, as that was released in September of 2013. HEUR also completely dominated this stat, as shown by the screenshots in the video now. The seventh skill to 200 mil was Strength, less than 1 week after 200 mil Attack on March 18, 2014 by Martin 2007. To get 200 mil, Martin did Skeleton Monkeys to around 50 mil XP with the Dragon Scimitar and Dragon 2-hand special attack. Then Nightmare Zone was released and he went there from 50 mil to 200 mil. After he accomplished 200 mil Strength, he didn't move on right away to attempt maxing or anything like that. Instead, he made an account named One Defense Untrim, now named Untrim, that went for an Untrim Slayer Keep and successfully accomplished that. The 8th skill to 200 mil in Old School Runescape was mining on May 1st, 2014 by Acid Soul. This achievement remains one of the greatest achievements in all of Old School Runescape. If you guys ended up putting your guesses in the description from 1 to 23, there is no way you put this here at number 8. As you can tell from the video on the screen now, he accomplished this by using the 2 granite 2 sandstone rocks in the quarry in the LICKEYS desert. Nowadays, experience rates are 3 times as high as what he was getting in this video due to 3-tick mining methods. To accomplish 200 mil in roughly 15 months, Acid Soul mined for approximately 8.5 hours per day. The 9th skill to 200 mil was Magic on May 9th, 2014 by CLAYTON. CLAYTON stun out to 50 mil, then did Nightmare Zone to 123 mil or so before it was nerfed. Jagex made it where runes don't spawn except when certain bosses are in the dream. It was hotfixed suddenly without warning. Faced with this method to 200 mil now being gone, CLAYTON went from 123 mil to 190 mil, doing plank make with mahogany logs and vengeance. During the time he did it, that was profitable. For his final 10 mil XP, he barraged at Atrate. A fun fact about the skill of Magic, the second player to 200 mil, Awand, achieved this nearly 10 months after CLAYTON, showing CLAYTON's incredible pace to 200 mil. The 10th skill to 200 mil in Old School was Herbler on May 18, 2014 by Talk2. I attempted competing for 200 mil Herbler myself, but quit after I thought that rank 1 was cool at 17 million experience. Boy was I wrong. Talk2 was like 10th to get 99, and they hit a massive bank. Herbler back then was profitable for a year or so, until some Herblers decided that they wanted to start squeezing profits to weed out the people with smaller banks like me, making it impossible for us to compete. He always had so many raw materials like 500k oak planks and that sort of thing. It was absolutely insane. The 11th skill to 200 mil was Hunter on June 1st, 2014 by EVOOK. EVOOK did a mix of both red and black Chinchampas on his way to 200 mil. He is an OG player and actually held a front page spot for quite some time in 2014 as well. Fortunately for EVOOK, his biggest competition was Elvis99, who got banned with a commanding lead at around 150 mil experience or so. Some people thought that Elvis99 got falsely banned, while others said that he botted and sold his GP for real life cash. Either way, it opened up the doors for that rank 1 spot, and EVOOK grabbed it. The 12th skill to 200 mil was crafting on June 13th, 2014 by PAULRAT 3. PAULRAT 3 is a crafting god who resides in the UK. Not only was he the first to 200 mil on the normal servers, he also holds rank 1 on the original Deadman mode servers with 77,777,777 experience. If that's not enough to call this guy the crafting god, then let me tell you this, he also has 200 mil crafting on RuneScape 3. Finally, if that's not enough to convince you that this guy is the crafting god, well, let me tell you one more thing. He also used to hold rank 1 crafting on the Iron Man mode servers when it first came out, but he got bored and he didn't continue. The 13th skill to 200 mil was Prayer on July 25th, 2014 by No to AFK Prayer, now known by the alias Sten. Sten accomplished 200 mil Prayer when the next person was only at 30 mil or so, a true domination in a particular skill. Sten afforded most of his Prayer experience through rune crafting. Sten was also arguably the first to 200 mil in another skill, which we will get to later. The 14th skill to 200 mil in Old School Runescape was Farming on August 24th, 2014 by EETSK. Just like Sten, EETSK was another player to completely dominate a skill. It took him nearly 18 months of daily farming to achieve 200 mil. On his journey, EETSK went through 6k magic seeds, 2.6k palm tree seeds, 11.3k torstal seeds, and 100k watermelon seeds. He says he started farming a bit late, but it didn't seem like it from how he finished. EETSK misclicked his 200 mil farming, so the video isn't too good. Don't worry, man, I misclicked my 99 farming at the same spot. That damn magic tree in Valley has a pretty big click radius, so it is what it is. The 15th skill to 200 mil in Old School Runescape was Defense on September 6, 2014 by Homepage. Homepage is the only player to hold multiple permanent rank 1s on the original high scores, so not including Deadman mode or anything like that. The other skill being Fishing, as I already mentioned. Most of Homepage's experience came from doing Nightmare Zone. The 16th skill to 200 mil was ranged on September 22nd, 2014 by Meadow Shadow. Meadow Shadow completely blew everyone out of the water, winning this race by over 125 million experience. What's interesting is Meadow Shadow didn't even chin his range or use Nightmare Zone, but rather he leveled it doing Tazars. What a bold strategy. Glad it worked out for him. The 17th skill to 200 mil in Old School Runescape was Agility on November 21st, 2014 by BRADFORDLY. In total, BRADFORDLY picked up roughly 47,000 marks of grace. He did 20 mil experience at Atrate, 30 mil experience at Dorgish Khan, and the last 150 mil experience at Ardoin. BRADFORDLY also has another account on Old School Runescape called Turgle, which currently has over 100 million agility experience. He also has 200 mil agility on RuneScape 3. Throughout all of his accounts, he has roughly 500 million agility experience. BRADFORDLY was also the 6th player to reach 200 mil hunter as well. The 18th skill to 200 mil in Old School Runescape was Smithing on February 3rd, 2015 by Crimson Queen. Crimson Queen smith rune armor until 99. During this time, it was very good profit, more profit than it is today. Also during this time, doing gold bars at Blast Furnace wasn't really known, so rune armor was considered meta. The 19th skill to 200 mil in Old School Runescape was Woodcutting on February 12, 2015 by SATHON. SATHON achieved 200 mil woodcutting at Hardwood Grove. Hardwood Grove is the teak tree area in Taibo 1 where you trade in 100 trading sticks to enter unless you've completed the Karamja Elite Diaries. SATHON trained at Hardwood Grove all the way from level 35 to 200 mil woodcutting experience, cutting teak trees here. SATHON cut over 2.3 million total teak trees on his way to 200 mil. The 20th skill to 200 mil was Hit Points on April 26, 2015 by Unoderu2. Unoderu2 says that most of their experience came from AFKing Abyssal Demons and Dark Beasts. However, I could have to imagine that quite a bit of their hit points experience also was from Nightmare Zone. Unoderu2 also has another account, Unoderu3, that also has 200 mil hit points, and that's ranked 15 on the high scores. The 21st skill to 200 mil was Construction on July 23, 2015 by RANDALICIOUS. One of the most controversial first 200 mils in Old School RuneScape, RANDALICIOUS actually was given the planks for 200 mil construction by another RuneScape player, Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins was going for 200 mil himself originally, but he got burnt out and didn't want his biggest competitor, Vestfold, to be the first player, so he decided to give his planks to Randy. Vestfold and Andrew Wiggins didn't see eye to eye. Vestfold didn't respect how Andrew Wiggins got 200 mil construction banked, which was by staking, so he decided to try to take donations himself to beat Randy, but failed. The 22nd skill to 200 mil was Runecrafting on November 14, 2015 by Runes. At the start of 07, Runes joined a nature running CC called FFDN36, where FFDN actually means Fast Free Double Natures and 36 meant World 336. Runners brought 27 essence to the altar, and in return the crafters gave back 54 nature runes. During peak times, experience per hour was roughly 50 to 75k experience. The rune crafters wear gold robes, and runners line up in order to trade. It has a very good structure and eliminates spam trading. I made an evolution of Slayer video before, and I thought of making an evolution of runecrafting because I've done a lot of research on the evolution and it's very interesting. I'm leaving a straw poll down below. Let me know if you guys would enjoy this. Finally, the last and 23rd skill to 200 mil in Old School RuneScape was Slayer on December 24, 2015 by MALT LICKEYS. MALT LICKEYS used roughly 8 million cannonballs on his journey to 200 mil. If you guys remember, at the start of Old School RuneScape, Slayer was one of the slowest stats to train. When MALT LICKEYS achieved 200 mil, it was still only at 45 to 48k experience per hour, which is more than likely why this was the last skill to 200 mil. Like I mentioned before, I have an evolution of Slayer from 2013 to 2017 video on my channel, and if you're interested in watching that next, link will be in the description and at the end of the video. Well guys, there it is, the first player to each 200 mil in Old School RuneScape. You guys, this took an unbelievable amount of time for me to make, so please consider subscribing and leaving a like if you enjoyed this video. If you guys have any future countdown video suggestions, please leave them down below. We'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.